All right. Welcome everyone to the last session of the conference. For this session, I hope to keep it quite informal, and I want to be able to sort of give you an opportunity to ask questions as well in the live Q&A. And I just want to take a few minutes to give you all an update of what's happening in the RSE community space and some new and exciting developments for the RSCs in New Zealand and Australia. So hopefully you can see my screen. All right, so just do a slideshow. I'm sorry, I'm having a bit of an... Yeah. I'm going to try and do that again. Hopefully you can see my slides now. Yeah. Okay, great. So today I actually just wanted to take a moment to provide some updates that might be interesting to you as a member of the RSE community. So the RSE Australia New Zealand community, as you can see from this graph, has actually grown quite a lot since we first started. And these numbers are coming from a Google group that we sort of run and maintain as the RSE Community Steering Committee. And we have seen an amazing growth in the number of members in there. So this just gives us an idea and an appreciation of how big this group of people is becoming and how much we find value from being part of the community. I just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder of the strategy document that we published and presented actually in a few different forums earlier this year. If you haven't been able to attend a presentation that describes this strategy, please feel free to pop onto the YouTube channel, NeSI's YouTube channel, and we have an RSE talk series where there is an RSE-AUNZ strategy talk, which will be I think will be quite interesting if you want to see the kind of work that's happening in the community and the work that the steering committee wants to take on and some of the goals we have for the community in the longer run to gain recognition for research software engineers in the sector. So just giving you a glimpse of some of the key goals in the strategy, and I will sort of end my my quick talk by tying in some of the activities that we're currently have going on and link it back into the goals of the strategy as well. So the first is bringing the community together, which I think we're doing as we speak, and I think some of the actionable items for us, or the key results that we wanted to achieve for this goal, was having our 2 key conferences in New Zealand and in Australia. And I believe once we end today, we will have achieved that. And we also do want to sort of raise awareness about RSEs and the RSE community in other wider forums, which sort of engage the e-research sector or the research and development sector as a whole as well. The next goal was around raising the profile of RSCs. I believe we do publish sort of stories or personas where we tell you about the types of work that RSCs are doing within various different organizations in New Zealand and in Australia. And so if you think you have a unique role and you identify as an RSC, and you'd like to tell your story, please do reach out to me, and we would love to hear from you. And we are more than happy to do to profile you as a persona, and other people could potentially benefit and see that this is an existing role, and there are people who are doing really diverse types of work in the software space when it comes to research. The next one was around a diverse and sustainable community. This is definitely something we're continuously working on, and hopefully we can build on in the future, and we will potentially have more data to show in the future. And of course, last is to become a more mature structure. So currently we are not a legal entity. We are supported by our organizations where we work. And for me, that's NeSI, the New Zealand eScience infrastructure, who is very much invested in supporting research software engineers in New Zealand. And so we definitely want to see RSEs be its own entity, and also sort of so that we can find opportunities for funding. And to do that, we want to set up a senior advisory board to sort of provide mentorship and guidance for us to build that in the future. So now that we have a brief overview of some of the goals that we have set out to achieve, some of the actions that we've taken towards those goals, I referred to some of them as I spoke of the goals, and I just wanted to provide some key updates. So we have run a series of RSE talks this year, and we have had 3 so far. Once again, these are all recorded, and you will find them on NeSI's YouTube channel. So feel free to go in and have a look. There were some really interesting talks on how ChatGPT is being used for learning and teaching and training environments as well. There is a talk on the RSE strategy, and there is a really interesting talk about climate modeling as well from one of the researchers at NIWA. The other update I wanted to provide was, and most of you might have seen this, some of you may not, it's the Amsterdam Declaration on Research Software Funding. And this particular document is actually based on work that's been done by ReSA, which is the Research Software Alliance, lots of communities around research software, such as the Research Software Engineering community, and of course, a lot of research funding organizations. And this is basically it's a set of recommendations and guidelines around the use of research software and funding research software. So it's a really interesting document if you want to have a read, and it does have it does have sort of a really good overall indication of the kind of work that the Research Software Alliance is helping to promote. And I think my colleague Saranjeet might touch upon this just after me. The other one is NeSI is now a member organization of the Research Software Alliance. And my colleague Saranjeet will tell us a little bit more about why this is important and what this actually means for you. So just like NeSI is a member of the Carpentries, and we have tried to scale that and try to sort of provide the benefit of our membership to the Carpentries to the entire training community in New Zealand. We want to try and do the same with research software, and we hope that you'll be able to leverage our membership to this organization and really make full use of what it has to offer. And with that said, my colleague will now talk about the Research Software Alliance and what they can provide. Lastly, I just want to share these links. So if you do want to get involved in the strategy in helping us achieve some of these goals that I've highlighted, please do get in touch. We are constantly looking for really passionate, enthusiastic people to get involved. So yeah, please do reach out. Thank you. And I will now pass it on to my colleague.
Yep. I'll do that now. Do you see my screen? Okay. Okay. So, hello everyone. I'll be talking about Research Software Alliance, which Nooriyah just mentioned, and also thank you for introducing me a bit, Nooriyah. I'll share a bit more about myself. My name is Saranjeet Kaur Bhogal. I am a community manager for the Asia region at the Research Software Alliance, or also called as RESA ReSA. I'm also the lead and co-founder of the RSE Asia Association and a fellow of the Software Sustainability Institute's 2023 cohort. I am based out of India, which is a country in the South Asia, surrounded by land on one end and water on the other side of the country. I'll share a bit about what Research Software Alliance vision is and what is its mission. So, the vision for Research Software Alliance is that research software and those who develop and maintain it are recognized and valued as fundamental and vital to research worldwide. We have this mission because it has been observed that research software has never been or rarely gets the status of first class research output, and that's why our alliance aims to recognize its importance and the importance of the people who develop and maintain it. The mission of the Research Software Alliance is to advance the research software ecosystem by collaborating with decision makers and key influencers. Here is one interesting quote from Neil Chu Hyong, who says that without data, it's difficult to validate results, but without code, we waste the opportunity to advance science. So there is hardly any research which we can complete without writing a proper code. So there are many opinions around this. Giannini Bellini, community manager, R Open Science, Argentina, says the work of the people who develop and maintain research software is often hidden and needs to be recognized, and so on. So you can find all these comments or all these opinions or thoughts on our website. Here are some bits which share why research software is important. So, a UK survey of 1,000 randomly chosen researchers showed that more than 90% of researchers acknowledge software as being the important output for their own research, and about 70% said that their research would not be possible without software. You can read more about this in the UK Research Software Survey 2014 by Simon Hetrick. Another study of Nature papers from January to March 2016 reveals that 32 of the 40 papers examined mention software. 32 papers contain 211 mentions of distinct pieces of software, which is on an average of 6.5 mentions per paper. This was highlighted in the study called Understanding Software and Research, Initial Results from Examining Nature and a Call for Collaboration by Nangya Yudit and Katz Daniel. Here is a brief history of the Research Software Alliance. We were founded in 2019 as a fiscally sponsored project of Code for Science and Society. The founding members of Research Software Alliance include ARDC, Netherlands eScience Center, Software Sustainability Institute, National Center for Supercomputing Applications, Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, and Digital Research Alliance of Canada. Our current sponsors include the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, UKRI, University of Illinois. We also have a number of previous sponsors like Berkeley, Carpentries, Fo Foundation, Gordon and Betty Moore Foundation, RDC, DRC, Stanford University, and Wellcome Trust. We also partner with the Research Data Alliance. So there are a number of ways how one can become involved with Research Software Alliance. One of those is joining the task forces on specific activities, or by subscribing to our newsletters and then receiving regular updates. Another way, like Nooriyah mentioned, is to encouraging your organization to become an organization member or make a donation. Another way would be to help raise awareness of the importance of software and research through the use of ReSA resources, connecting with community members at our events, or joining the ReSA Slack for decision makers and key influencers to share what's happening in the community. Attending our community leaders forum, or providing new information on new funding calls to the research software funding opportunities, and contributing to resources and guidelines, ideas for task force, events, news, or if you have any other ideas for ReSA, reach out and we will see if that's possible. So these are the some ways through which people can get involved. I want to touch upon who are our organization members at the moment. So, like Nooriyah mentioned, NeSI is a new organizational member of ReSA. We also have the Digital Research Alliance of Canada, ARDC, Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, DFG, the National Institutes of Health, National Center for Supercomputing Applications, Netherlands, eScience Center, NESI, NWO, SAGE, Simons Foundation, and Software Sustainability Institute. So what does it mean to be an organizational member, or what are the benefits of being one? So the important benefits include collaboration with international research software community to solve the common issues in this domain. Then to further the international standing and influence of your organization, gain public recognition as an organizational member of ReSA, receive the official ReSA organizational member logo, learn and share best practice around research software, promote your work to a global audience, broaden your reach by collaborating on ReSA projects, attend global community events, and access decision makers and key influencers. Also, you receive regular communications through our newsletters or to getting in touch with us. So these are some of the benefits that you gain by becoming an organizational member. And if you're interested to become one, do write to us at memberships@researchsoft.org. You can learn more about different membership tiers on our website. And also, if you're not interested in being an organizational member, but if you want to contribute as an individual, also check our page on how you can get involved with ReSA and contribute to this community and organization. Some of the recent achievements of the Research Software Alliance is hosting of the Funders Forum. There was also a Wheeler Difference Research Software Engineers workshop in early this year, which discussed diversity and inclusion within the research software community. We have a blog on expanding the mapping of global research software community, which shares highlights from different parts of the globe. What is the status of the research software engineering community in those parts of the globe? Another highlight was the inclusion of research software in the UNESCO and OECD recommendations. This can be considered as big wins, and we are very proud that research software got recommended at these venues. There is also a blog on research software is essential for research data. So how should governments respond? You can check out all these resources on our website, researchsoft.org. And if you have any questions, please feel free to write to us. Another thing I wanted to highlight was if you're really interested in knowing more what goes in the research software domain globally, do subscribe to our newsletter, and you would receive monthly updates through our new newsletters. Thank you. That's all. If you have any questions, I'm open to those.
Thank you so much, Saranjeet, that was a really good whirlwind overview of ReSA, all of its achievements, and what could be possible in the future. I think it'll be quite an exciting organization to look forward to. I'm just checking the live Q&A chat, and if anyone has any questions, please feel free to pop it into the chat. I had a question for you, Saranjeet. So with ReSA, you did mention there are a few different forums or working groups and events that we could get involved in. Where can we find information about these?
Yes, so most of these or almost all of this information is available on our website, researchsoft.org. I'll drop a link in the chat so that people can find it.
And is this open? Are these open to anyone, or does it?
Yes, they are. Most of the events are open to the community, so they can join. There are hardly any that we do in the closed space, so most of them are open to the community.
Cool. That sounds great. And I think in our final closing NZRSE 2023 email, we can probably pop a few links to websites, and so people can start to explore and find the appropriate places that they'd like to be involved. Awesome. With that, I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just, I again wanted to highlight the newsletter because that is the easiest way to collect all the information in one place and share it with the community. So we do it regularly, and all our previous newsletters are also available on the website. So people can take a look.
Awesome. That's a great tip. Great. With that, I think that's all we have for community updates. I don't see any more questions in the live Q&A, so I will now hand over to Georgina Rae to close the conference.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Georgina Rae tōku ingoa. Hi everyone, I'm George, Science Engagement Manager here at NeSI, and it's really great to see another year of this community getting together, sharing learnings, challenges, there's lots of those, and aspirations. And it's always nice to see familiar faces, and also really nice to see some new ones coming in. I think we had over 50 attendees over the last couple of days, and it's been great to see the engagement, lots of questions, lots of kōrero. I know it's definitely spun up a whole bunch of conversations back at NeSI in our Slack channels, sharing some of the findings. So we really appreciate the generosity of all of you putting this time in to be a part of this conversation. So the theme was responsible research in a shifting world, balancing opportunities and challenges. And I think those keynotes that the committee selected did a really nice job of covering off some of those things. We had Jill Dobby and Bing Zhui with ethical considerations in using things like large language models, use of AI in software development, and what those key things are that we need to think about. What is responsible research with all of these new tools going forward. One thing I noticed as I was listening to the talks in the last couple of days, it's we've talked a lot about fear for research software or fear data, and that came through loud and clear over the last couple of days. But it was really awesome to hear that the fear complemented with the care principles from a bunch of different speakers. We saw all sorts of innovative applications of things like deep learning in real world, workflow languages to make software reproducible. We talked documentation and how we get key software skills into the workforce. even went on a little bit of a journey around how you have to lobby your senior stakeholders to drive that change within the organisation. We all end up responsible for that at some point in time. And sustainability in advanced research computing. So huge amount of terrain. And then fabulous to have Saranjeet right at the end there to bring in that international context. So we're all working in a global collaborative way of working. So it's really important that we understand what's happening out there in the world. And I must give another plug to the newsletter that Saranjeet mentioned. It is full of gold. So definitely sign up for that. It takes you to all the latest thinking and conversations and publications around research software and how it's policy around it, citing it, all sorts of things. So it's well worth signing up. Closing remarks are nothing without a bunch of thank yous. So we'll go through those. Ngā mihi nui. So the organising committee or the general committee, these are the folks who volunteer their time to bring this together. They make the tough decisions on logistics and format, on the program and everything, and we really appreciate all their contributions. So we had Nikki Lee Anderson, Johanna Bayer, Murray Kadzau, Nisha Gatak, Charles Heffer, Erin Kwan, Nooriyah Lohani, Brent Martin, and Janet Stacey this year. So big thank you. I see lots of positive emojis floating up on the screen. And an extra specially big thank you to Nooriyah, who I'm not sure if she's shared her news and whether she'll be horrified that I do, but she is finishing up with NeSI very soon, and we're very sorry to have her go. Just moving on to a next fabulous opportunity, which I'm sure she'd be happy to share with you all. We're really excited for her and proud of all she's done in the last few years with this community, but also more broadly in all her study over the last however long. So well done, Nooriyah. Congratulations and good luck on the next step. Right, where to from here? There are going to be ongoing conversations around that bioinformatics BOF. So have a look in that RSE-AUNZ Slack space. I think that's where they've agreed to take that conversation next. And with the software carpentries national collaboration, that's another one that hopefully a few people will be keen to engage with. So that's just to reach out to Murray or Nisha as a next step. And there's also a wee plug that we've got to make. Perhaps not all of you, but many of your colleagues will be interested in some training we have coming up in November. So that's the Intro to Command Line workshop. I say it here only because it's quite sought after. So sharing here first before that fills up. We will be, many of us, heading over to eResearch Australasia. So if you're going there, please reach out. And otherwise, it's just another plug for that Research Software Alliance newsletter. It's definitely a goodie. So thank you, everybody. And I'll close off with a karakia. Tēnā anō tātou, tēnā au ka mihi atu. Mō tō pai o tā tātou noho tahi, me te a tāhua o nā kōrero. Nō reira, e aku rangatira, hoki pai atu ki o kōtu tari, ki o kōtu kāinga, ki o kōtu whānau, ki kāti rā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.